The Phoenix Suns had a great season this year. 64-18. Devin Booker played like an MVP, dapping up babies on the sideline after he hit jumpers. Chris Paul doing Chris Paul things. DeAndre Ayton finally stepping up and playing like the big he needs to play like. Mikal Bridges almost winning Defensive Player of the Year. This Phoenix Suns team is legit. This might be the year Chris Paul actually breaks through and wins an NBA championship. The Phoenix Suns. This Phoenix Suns team did surprise me, okay? They really, really did surprise me. Last year, I was the one of those individuals saying that the only reason the Phoenix Suns got far at all is because Anthony Davis got hurt. If LeBron had AD by his side, there's no way I see Phoenix going to the NBA Finals. And I said, well, when next season comes around, we going to see the real Phoenix Suns. It's going to be a fluke. And they started off slow. I said, yep, I was right. The Phoenix Suns last year was a fluke. And then they raised their game to another level. And this season, they had a great year, 64 wins. Devin Booker, it just amazes me that he had no MVP votes. But let's fast forward to the playoffs, because that's when things matter the most, the NBA playoffs. And this series that just passed against the Pelicans it told me a lot about the Suns and about CP3. And this Phoenix Sun team, I must say, taking a deep breath, I hate to admit it, they are dangerous. This Phoenix Sun team is dangerous. They have every single thing that you need in a championship team. They have a great point guard who is pass first. They have a guy they can get the ball to. He can create for himself and score a clutch bucket. They have a big, when he's playing like an animal, playing like a man amongst boys, he's holding the paint down. They have stoppers in Mikal Bridges. They have Jay Crowder, who can actually stop you on defense at times when he tries. But this Phoenix Sun team is legit. And then you bring up JaVale McGee and his energy off the bench, Cameron Payne, Cam Johnson. You bring these type of people and you put them together, you have a superb team like the Phoenix Suns. But this game, let's talk about the game. CP3 goes 33 points, 14 of 14 from the field. And I remember in 2019? The 2019-2020 season, going the bubble year when COVID broke out. In the summer, Chris Paul signed with Oklahoma City Thunder, and they gave them a 0.2% chance of making the playoffs. Everybody was calling CP3 washed. Now, I was not in that crowd of calling CP3 washed at all. Everybody was calling Chris Paul washed. I said, this man is not washed. He's just, him and Harden, it just didn't work out. And we saw Harden work with Westbrook, and we saw Harden work with KD and Kyrie. Of course, we know why that didn't work out, but they're working pretty good right now in Philadelphia, moving on to the second round. But CP3 going to OKC, people were saying that he's washed. I said, this man is not washed, and he showed us that he wasn't washed. He carried this team to the playoffs and took Houston to 7 games. That was impressive to me. And fast forward, you trade him. He signs the sign and trade. He goes to Phoenix. And then he helps Phoenix and propels them to the NBA Finals, which I thought was a fluke at the time. I said, hey, they won because Anthony Davis was hurt. Kawhi Leonard was hurt. So they got a lot of breaks making it to the NBA Finals. But this year, Chris Paul is showing me in the playoffs like, hey, I'm that dude. I'm the guy. Just watching the game, him hitting these tough mid-range jumpers like back again and again and again and again, just making it look super easy. This man he's an all-time great. And for us to say that he was washed up at a point, he was never washed at a point. It's just that his contract was real big and he wasn't on a winning team. Even though Houston was doing good things, but they just couldn't get past Golden State. And then he goes to OKC. He shows us that he can lead a team. He's still the same player that he is. Then he goes to Phoenix, goes to the NBA Finals. This year, there's 64 wins out the first round. CP3 shoots 14 of 14 from the field. Like, I never seen this in my life. You would never see this again. Somebody shoot 14 of 14 from the field. Like, I don't know how that would happen. And then this is a 6-foot guard. That what amazed me about Chris Paul. He's 6 feet tall. not a lot of 6'8", 6'10" dudes can do what he's doing on the court. Shooting 14 of 14 from the field, getting his mid-range off when he wants to get it off, going to the basket when he needs to get to the basket, hitting three-point shots when he needs to hit three-point shots. And the amazing thing about Chris Paul that this team has is that he, like Dame, you got Dame, Curry, Westbrook. These are point guards who want to score first. Now, I'm not saying Westbrook cannot pass, because he can. Does he turn the ball over at times? Yeah. Curry, I'm not saying he can't pass. He can pass. I'm not saying Dame can't pass. Dame can pass. But Chris Paul is the point guard that you want on your team, who can facilitate the offense, who can calm down everybody, who can get things done in a half-court situation, and somebody who doesn't shoot the ball first. And that's what Phoenix have in their point guard. But the crazy part about it, Chris Paul has a flip on and flip off switch when it comes to scoring. And it's hard to see, especially from a point guard who is 6 foot tall, who can turn it on and turn it off. If I want to score 30 tonight, I will. If I don't want to score 30, I won't score 30. If I hit out 18 assists, I'm fine with it. That's the dynamic that the Phoenix Suns have that no other team in the league right now has. Is a point guard who is an all-time great, a Hall of Famer, who can cut his scoring on and off. He can be effective with the ball or without the ball. He can be effective assisting the ball, and he can score at an efficient rate. We saw it in the closeout game last year against the Clippers. 44 points, took over the fourth quarter. We saw this last night against the Pelicans, took over the fourth quarter, took over the game in general. Even though Devin Booker was out there, sucking in a lot of gravity, they're helping on Devin Booker. They got to worry about Devin Booker, giving Chris Paul more space to operate. But Chris Paul, I'm telling you, nobody else, I can't think of another NBA team that has this dynamic that Chris Paul and the Phoenix Suns have. A point guard who is not score first, but can score when you need him to score. And elite scorer in Devin Booker, who can actually pass the ball as well, and who is deadly at the mid-range as well. And his three-point has improved a lot this season. So the Phoenix Suns, this team is legit. They're for real. And I knew they were for real during the season, of course. But this playoffs, when everybody was saying, hey, this 2-2 now in New Orleans, can Chris Paul actually pull something off? And the bad thing about Chris Paul, every single year, it seems like when he's close, he's inching towards the NBA title almost every single season. When he's just close to NBA title, something happens. Blake gets hurt. CP3 breaks his hand with the Clippers. He gets a hamstring injury in Houston. Last year, he had this hand injury when they were playing the Lakers, so he's not 100%. So things happen every single postseason when it comes to Chris Paul. That's why I say we're winning a championship. Things have to go right for you. They have to go right. A lot of the times, like 99% of the time, things got to go right for you. That means opponents may be missing players. That means that you might have your full roster, so you can be able to compete for a championship. So seeing Chris Paul play the way he did, this 33 points, 14 from the field, we will never see this again, 100% from the field. It just amazes me how they even let him get his shot off. But you know what? They don't let him get his shot off. He get his shot off when he want to get it off. And that's the amazing thing about CP3, that he has that ability to do that. No other point guard in the NBA can do what Chris Paul can do, turn it on and off. We see people try to turn it on and off. It's hard to do that at times. It's definitely hard to just turn that mode off, not to score, be a facilitator, and then next game, bam, you get up, you shoot 14 of 14 from the field with 33 points. We would never see that again. Now, Chris Paul, can he pull it off again? I don't know. I'm not doubting Chris Paul right now. He's playing with fire. He's playing amazing. I mean, you have shooters like Steph Curry, and you have people like Russell. When he was playing in his prime, he was like, hey, I need to, when he's facilitating, it's kind of hard to dictate when I need to score. And so you don't get in that rhythm, and you end up shooting a horrible percentage from the field. And I think that's what happened with Westbrook with the Lakers this season. He didn't get the shot attempts that he needed. He didn't get enough shots. He was trying to play make a lot. He just couldn't get his shots off. But Chris Paul, he can play and make all day long. And still, when it's time for him to put up a shot, when it's time for him to score, when you need him to score, he will score and he will get that basket. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. And this guy is 6 foot tall. 6 foot tall. This will be a load to beat this Suns team. In Dallas, they have a good team. They have Luka, who, of course, we know what Luka represents, superstar. He's going to go down as one of the greats if he continues on this pace that he's playing at. And then you have Spencer Dinwiddie, who's playing good. Jalen Brunson, who's playing out of his mind right now. Just saw how he dominated the Utah Jazz, something that I wasn't expecting. And now you go against this team in Phoenix who have all the pieces that they need. A Cam Payne, Jay Crowder, Devin Booker, even though he might be a little hobbled. But you still have Chris Paul. And Chris Paul showed us what he can do. Game 6 versus New Orleans. I don't think I can doubt him in this next round against the Mavericks. And Phoenix they just have a legit team, and they can be able to compete night in and night out. They can compete without Devin Booker. Now, can they win a series without Devin Booker? I don't think so. But can they compete with Devin Booker without Devin Booker? Of course they can. They have CP3. And CP3, he makes things happen on the basketball court in an easy, light and an easy fashion. So I'm excited for this second round. I'm excited to see Luka and CP3 go at it. I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on that series, definitely. But y'all let us know in the comments below who will take home that series. And Chris Paul, he has to be mentioned with the all-time greats. He has to. After this performance, this is one of the greatest playoff performances of all time. We won't see this again. I'm telling you, we will not see this type of play again from a guy who's 6 foot tall, who can get his jump off anytime he wants to, gets to the mid-range, gets to the three-point line, can assist the ball, hits his free throws, and he's able to cut the switch on and off when it comes to scoring and assisting the ball. We won't see this again from Chris Paul. Let's appreciate what Chris Paul is doing. I know at a time people were calling this man washed, and to see him go to the NBA Finals last year and to see him have the potential to go to the NBA Finals this year, it's absolutely amazing.